What's up, friends? It's Voltfirecore, and welcome to the 16 Personalities Personality Test. Yes, I am doing one of these because I saw someone else do it, and I think it would be pretty fun to do. So this is the leading personality test website. My mother is really into tests. She likes talking about them a lot. I'm not really too into them. I like to build my own thing, but maybe this one will give me some information. But for our first question out of like a fucking 100, you regularly make new friends. Well, I'm not really inside of a position to make new friends right now, but if I, had the opportunity to, I definitely would. So I'll give that one a mostly agree, or something like that. You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. Not really. If I have something I like, I usually do it. I don't really spend too much time trying to find new things that I like unless they impact something else. Like, oh, I want to learn how to make a good thumbnail to improve my YouTube videos. So I'll give that one I'll give that one a slightly disagree, because I do not do that much. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. Not many people inside my family cry, but I don't really get too emotional. I get sad, and I get angry, and I get happy. It's just I don't really, I'm not too, I don't really know the word. I don't really show it too much. Like, it's obvious that I am sad, but I'm not, like, bawling or doing that kind of stuff inside the sad sense. So, and seeing other people, I'm not really too empathetic like that. I usually feel for them, but usually I want to try to make them feel better, and me crying, I don't know, probably won't make them feel better. So I'll give that one a mostly disagree, or, yeah. You often make backup plans for a backup plan. I do not. I kind of just go. And if it works out. So I'll give that one that one. Yeah. Because I don't really do that too much. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. Depends on the kind of pressure. But most of the time I stay pretty calm under pressure. So I'll give that one a mostly agree. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. If I'm at a gathering, at least currently, most of the people who are there I know. I haven't really been to too many places that... Actually, I haven't really been to too many social events. It's usually my parents or the other people who try to talk to me. So I don't go and try and introduce myself, so I'll give that one a... Yeah, it's kind of sad. I'm the dude alone inside the corner. They don't know I'm actually really cool. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. Yeah, like I finish them most of the time. There was a few off cases, so I'll give that one a slightly agree. You're very sentimental. No, not really. You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. No, I hate them. I am inside of the midst of a bunch of projects and schoolwork recently, and my mother is always trying to push on me. You need to use schedules. You need to use lists. I don't really like using them. They don't really help me too much, and they kind of just make me angry to look at. So I'm just going to give that one. Yeah, I don't like using organization tools. I kind of just do whatever the fuck is in front of me, and I remember it. I don't need organization tools. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. It used to. I was really like this about a couple years ago. I was a little bitch, and I didn't really have a good understanding of the people around me, so I didn't know how I measured up against them. So I just took any kind of failure as a big old blow to my ego, and I'm stupid. I was kind of stupid at that point, but I thought I was really stupid. But even a small mistake... No, I can make small mistakes, and so I'm going to say I mostly disagree with that one. Not strongly, haven't done any stronglies yet. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. I do not feel comfortable, that is my father, a lot, but no, I did not pick that up from him. I don't really go to people and try to talk to them. I'm not good at that. So no, I do not feel comfortable. Like, I could. So I'll give myself a slightly disagree. I could talk to someone if I was told to, and if they, they're inside of a similar interest, like they like the same things I do, or that's the same area that I am, inside of that kind of thing. Other than that, probably not. You are not too interested in, in discussing various interpretations and analyses of creative work. I actually love discussing how certain things can be interpreted inside of a creative sense. I love doing that. My parents always taught me that you need to have half of the arts and the science of arts and in depth. Just because it's art doesn't mean you can't go in depth on it. And I love going in depth on artwork. I'm not like analyzing it like, oh, the drawing here is quite subpar, but no, I like talking about it and the things I like about it and the things that could use work and that kind of stuff. So I disagree, strongly disagree. I like interpreting things and talking about how people interpret things. You are more inclined to follow your head than your heart. They're talking about heart as in like your gut, where you're going. I don't really like if your head's telling you something smart and your heart's telling you something. I disagree with that. Sometimes your head's being a little bit of an idiot. Sometimes you gotta follow your heart. Like, if you're inside of a situation that you could like hurt yourself, but you could help someone else, then you could probably use to put yourself inside of some risk. It's no like good to just be like, oh, that is not beneficial towards me. You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular day routine. Depends. I do have a schedule in my head on the kind of things I want to do, like workouts and when I want to do schoolwork and record videos. But I can, as long as I can fit in the things I want to do during the day, or even if I have to cut them out, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with changing it up. You usually prefer it, like I prefer it. So I'll put that as a slightly like, but I'm not opposed to changing up my shtick. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. Listen, I'm just so likable that no one could hate me when they see me. In all honesty, I don't really, I haven't really met too many people and gotten like a feel for how they feel about me. Except my family, but they kind of did that pretty early inside of my life. But I think I'd probably worry if I made a good impression on them, but I wouldn't be like neurotic about it. So I agree with that. You enjoy participating in group activities. Yeah, I agree with that one. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretations of the ending. Oh, now this is a hard one. I love a good story that wraps it up inside of a nice little bow, and you follow the story all the way to the end. You're like, I have come to my conclusion, and it didn't just tell me it, but I was able to do that. But I also like stories that are more open-ended. They have like, well, it depends. If they're like insanely open-ended, they're annoying, but they have a little bit of like, ooh, what could happen? Like it ends on kind of like a cliffhanger or something, and that's the end. Pretty cool. You like books you can come up with your own. Yeah, I agree with that. Your happiness comes from helping others, accomplishing things than your... Your happiness comes more from helping others, accomplishing things than your own accomplishments. Yeah, I don't really feel too amazingly happy. Like, I feel like, a sense of accomplishment, but I only feel really happy if I'm able to make someone else, if I'm able to get the reaction or be like, oh, you like that? Or not even if I can't even say that, just kind of want to help them out or something. So yes, I strongly agree with that. You are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. I'm kind of set inside my roots of what I'm interested in, like I already said, but there are some things that I want to get into, but I just don't really have the desire to do it. So, but if I find something that I'm actually interested in, I'll probably do it, but I never find it difficult to try what to try next. I don't have like a bucket list on like, ooh, I want to try this and this. So I disagree with that. You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worst. Yeah. inside of my mind, I always just, it's kind of bad on how much I just overthink things. I was just eating an orange. No. Well, this happens a bunch of times, but usually it's when I'm walking around with like a sharp object or something. It's just like, oh man, what if I drop this on my foot? Or oh man, there's my cat. She's just kind of walking around. What if this fucking Rube Goldberg machine launches my knife like a Final Destination movie and ends up hurting my cat? So I don't know. I don't know if that's really worrying. That's more of just being an idiot. But yeah, I am very prone to worrying that things will do the worst possible scenario, and I really hate it. You avoid leadership roles in a group setting. Depends. I can lead. I also kind of just like helping out. I think being like a leader is kind of sus. I'm not into that. But if I can help someone, then I will. So I do not avoid leadership actively. I take it when it's necessary. So do you avoid? I strongly disagree with avoiding it. But actually, maybe I should pick the other one. I don't know. You are definitely not an artistic type of person. Bullshit. I might not be much for the visual arts inside of like using a pen and paper and stuff like that, or digital art, or shit like the musical arts. But I do have my own form of artistic stuff I like to do. It's not like you're normal, but I've been able to find ways to embrace that of myself. So I think everyone has artistic talent inside of them. They just have to awaken it. You are definitely not. I disagree with that. I am an artistic person just like everyone else. Just someone puts more time into it. And sometimes they're just hammered down inside their brain that you're not good at art. So they get inside their mind that, oh, I'm not good at art. Anyways, you think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings. What the fuck? Hell no. Hell no. You know how boring that would be? Listen. If everyone was rational, that would be boring. And if feelings were gone, that would be boring. The world would be a terrible place, an absolutely awful place. Rationality, oh no, my mother is right there. Oh, but there is a 0.11111% chance that I accidentally hurt myself. Oh, better let your mother die then. Don't want to hurt yourself. I don't know, that's kind of a far stretch, but nah. Humans are emotional creatures. There are the rational people out there who take things to an extreme, but I think it should be a balance of them. The world would be a terrible place. I disagree. Do you prefer your chores before allowing... You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax? I really hate relaxing. The whole term relaxing kind of just hurts my soul. I actually feel like a contorting pain by just having relax. I just don't like the word. I find cooling yourself down and not doing something as intensive, like your heart rate's up or you're doing something really mentally stimulating, but I like to do things until I'm asleep. If that's doing a workout, then that's doing a workout. If that's working on something, I'm going to work on it. My relaxation time comes from when I'm sleeping or I'm doing something less intensive. I don't like to sit on the couch and just be like, bliss. That just makes me really uncomfortable. Unless I'm like cooling down after a workout, of course. So yes, I prefer to do all my chores. I have some animals to take care of and they would die if I let myself relax too much. Yes, I prefer to do my chores. Jesus Christ, we're only 40% done. Oh. You enjoy watching people argue. Damn, they are diving deep inside of me as a person. Like, it sounds kind of bad, but there's those kind of things where it's kind of interesting, but I don't necessarily enjoy it. If it's some people I care about yelling at each other, I'm not gonna like tune it out inside my head like get all scared from it or like a little baby. But I'm not gonna attentively listen to hear the kind of jabs that someone's making at their arguing compadre. So I don't enjoy watching people argue. I find it kind of cringy most of the time, because usually they're not, at least depending on what kind of argument. If it's like a debate, it's a lot different. An argument is usually people being stupid and just throwing shit at the wall and then trying to backpedal like, oh wait, blah, 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 blah. No. I disagree. Arguments are annoying. Debates and civil conversations of disagreements are a lot more interesting than whatever that is. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. I'm fine with drawing attention to myself. I would like myself to have more attention so people would wanna see me, since that would be kind of interesting. People would be like, hey, it's that guy. So I have no problem with that. I strongly disagree with that. Your mood can change very quickly. I have a very set mood. Sometimes I get a little bit more hyper if I'm hyped up on something or something went well in life. I don't really get like sad or bummed out too often, and even if I do, it's kind of just like a kind of bummer. I'm usually I don't usually change that much unless something really, aggravating or something like that. So no, my mood is kind of stagnant. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you. Not necessarily. This is something that one person inside my family really struggles with. They just start screaming bloody murder if they're wasting their time. On the other hand, like, if you have some kind of thing you need to accomplish, you gotta be okay with some people not working your way. You can't just always think that you are the superior person and everyone else is slowing you down, because that's having like a superiority complex. And everyone has equal potential, or stuff. Well, some people, disabilities and shit like that. But you lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you. Hell no, you shouldn't be getting angry at people who just don't, have the discipline. Like, you can get angry at someone, but if it's like affecting you, nah, don't get angry at them. Be annoyed, but don't get like. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Sometimes I sometimes do. But the things that I really care about, like deeply care about, I'm very proactive with doing those. If I don't give a shit about it, I'm just gonna kind of shove it up together and be like, okay, there we go. No. Like, last possible moment, I'll give that, slightly disagree. You always have been fascinated by questions of what, if anything, happens after death. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's the question. That's the question. If any of you ever want to, DM me on Discord and have a conversation about what happens after death, I would be very interested in talking to any of you. That would be very cool. Hit me up. You usually prefer to be around others than rather on your own. Yeah. It doesn't really drain me too much to be around others. And I think I can help people, add something. If I can add something to the conversation, I'm not just sitting there like a bump on a log, then of course I would love to be there. But if it's just people who are in a different league of conversation, or they don't really want me there, then, but yeah, I usually would like to be with more people than on my own. I think I'm kind of stupid if I'm on my own. So yes, you become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. So I totally disagree, man. Totally disagree. If a conversation, this is just a hypothesis, this is only a possibility, theoretically speaking, that is the best kind of stuff. You're not going to get anywhere inside of, thinking, if you're not thinking about stuff that has not been discovered yet, or just if this could happen, then this could happen, but the first thing has not been proven yet. That's really interesting. That's cool. Don't want to just talk about the same stuff inside of textbooks that's been around for 1,000 years. You find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are very different than yours. I don't really, when I'm empathizing, doing that thing with someone, I usually, it doesn't really matter to me if they have the same experiences with me. I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I've been there, but you can tell if you just hear their story. You don't necessarily have to be inside the situation to empathize with them. Sharing empathy with someone knows that they're struggling, and you should be able to empathize that, oh, I had a struggle too, or something like that. You find it easy to empathize? Yeah, totally. You should be able to empathize with anyone. Well, to a certain extent. Sometimes it's just, I don't know. It's like childbirth or something. I'm not going to be able to be like, Oh, bro, I've been there, but you could be like, I'm sorry for your pain, but look, you got a child now, or something. Yeah. You usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible. Uh, Finalizing decisions, it depends. If the decision is stupid and it doesn't really matter, then I don't really give a shit. But if the decision is important, I try to give a wholehearted final thought to it. So no, I do not postpone decisions. I usually get them out there if they're necessary. Man, this is going to take a while. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. Oh, now, not really the choices, but more the actions. The course of my life has been impacted by certain choices I've made, but not as much as some other people, because, I'm not like other people. Joke! But I don't second guess the things I've done inside the past, inside of like oh man, if only I took that opportunity, because I haven't really had any big opportunities pass me by or stuff like that. So, no, I don't really second guess them too much. If things happen, you have to accept that things happened. You can't go back in time. Unless that becomes a possibility, then it's going to be crazy. After a long and exhaustive week, a lively social event is just what you need. Now, in all honesty, this is kind of dependent on how you get like your energy. If you can suck energy out of a room, that sounds really weird, but if you can like get hyped up from other people, then yeah. And in all honesty, if I'm on like a road trip or something and meeting with family, I'm really tired, it does help me out a lot more to stay more energized and lift my spirits up and not be such a I'm kind of tired and all that kind of stuff. I can go talk to some other people and they'll usually keep me engaged. Because, in my opinion, you're only tired when you're not doing something unless you get knocked out. So yeah, as long as I'm doing something with someone, I'll probably stay attentive. Unless I'm really tired. Yeah, sure, it could help me out. Goddamn, we gonna be here forever. Let's blow through this bonus round. Do you enjoy going to art museums? I can go to them. They're pretty cool. How often have you how often you often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings? No. You like to have a to-do list for each day? Fuck no. You rarely feel insecure. I used to feel really insecure, so I disagree with that. I still have a bit of insecurity inside of me. It's just a lot less than it was inside the past. You avoid making phone calls. I don't really call anyone. Sometimes people call me to give me like car insurance, but I don't really specifically call anyone. If it's my grandmother, my mother usually passes me her phone after she's done talking. But no, I don't avoid making phone calls. It's like, yo, go call your aunt or something. So I disagree. You also spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from yours. Hell yeah. Oh, speed round. In your social circle, you're often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. I don't have a social circle of friends, but if I did, I'd probably ask them if they wanted to do some shit if they have similar interests. So, yeah, sure, a little bit, yeah. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. Yeah, slightly. Like, I want to get on my schedule, but again, it doesn't really matter to me if it's kicked off. It's just if I can get my things done, and that's mostly just exercise in some way, that I'm happy. You are still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. Now, this is a lot different than the whole things you did. This is like a specific mistake. Yes, I think about the, not really mistakes, just everyone thinks about the cringy things they did when they were a little kid. But I had a lot of mental mistakes and a bunch of mental roadblocks that I was like, oh man. And finally, I can look back on that and be like, man, I was really stupid for thinking that. So yeah, I'm still bothered by how stupid I was back then, pretty much. You rarely contemplate the reasons of human existence and the meaning of life. I highly disagree. You should think about the meaning of life. I'll save that for another video, my particular reason for the meaning of life. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Highly disagree. I keep a good check on my emotions, especially inside of places where they might not be welcome. Because some people, they don't want to fucking hear you start screaming angry. You should be able to articulate your stuff instead of like... Your emotions can be handled, but sometimes you don't want to fucking handle them, and that's perfectly fine. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it's completely their fault. Yeah, you don't really want to point out someone's doing something stupid, because that's just going to make them resent you, especially if you care about them. Someone on the street being a fucking idiot, if you want to point out them being an idiot, yeah, but still not kind of cool. An eye for an eye doesn't help anything, it just makes people have bad vision. So, yeah, don't make people look bad. So yes, I agree. Oh man, we are moving! You personalize... your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy and organized and consistent efforts. No, it's not spontaneous bursts.Ation if I'm doing something more creative, I can't just be like, all right, I'm sitting down doing something creative. I need some brain chillage a little bit with a workout or some other stuff. But no, I highly disagree with that. Spontaneous burst usually isn't my style. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take for them to feel disappointed in you. What the fuck does that even mean? No, I don't really like people thinking highly of me. It makes me really uncomfortable to hear people talking about how amazing a thing I did was. I don't really like that. Like, I'm fine telling someone they did something really cool and making them feel nice, but I know it's kind of dickish to just kind of put off people saying nice things about you as, oh, I don't deserve that or something like that. But I can't get over it. I really don't like someone complimenting me. I like someone being like, cool. But a whole like, that was amazing. You were such a talented person. It just makes me highly uncomfortable. But inside of this particular thing, no, I don't wonder how long they're going to be disappointed, since I try not to be disappointing, but I also try not to, make people think I'm a god. Kind of stay in the middle. I highly disagree with that one. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. Hell no, I want to work inside of a place where I can actually talk to people. I highly disagree with that. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. Fuck you. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, imminent places. I live inside of a quiet, imminent, close together place, because I live inside the middle of bum fucking nowhere. So I would like to check out some more bustling places. The quiet and imminent. Don't know that. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel more drawn to it, since I have a taste for the whole quiet life by now. You know at first glance how someone is feeling? No, depends. You gotta get to know the person. Some people kind of just have a stanky face, and usually they're not just stanky. Sometimes they just have a stanky face. So, yeah, I can't really read them unless they tell me what they're feeling. And if they don't want to tell me, then I can get a feel, but it takes a little bit, not at first glance. You often feel overwhelmed. I try my best not to feel overwhelmed, because if you feel overwhelmed, your work is going to suffer, and you're just going to be all swamped, and you're not going to feel cool. So, no, I do my best to avoid feeling overwhelmed. I have to disperse my work, or stuff like that. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. I don't really do any things that require, like, a methodical approach to, like, blah, 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 blah. And most of the things I have to do that are methodical, they're like, you're forced to do it methodically. You can't skip over them, or you're not gonna, get credit for doing the thing you did. So, yeah, I complete things methodically, but I don't really do any things that, in my day-to-day life, that needs, like, a specific, like, step of things. You are very intrigued by things labeled as controversial. I'm intrigued by the social aspect on why they are deemed controversial, but intrigued is kind of a weird word. You're very intrigued by things labeled as controversial. I assume that means like, oh, this drug is a very controversial thing that you probably shouldn't do. I'm intrigued in using it. Hell no, I'm not intrigued by just because something is controversial, I'm not intrigued in it in the slightest. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought there was someone else. Yeah, if you thought someone else needed it more. Like, that's kind of hard to do if you have like a job application in. Usually you don't get to know your competitors, but you know, if someone was struggling and they needed the job and I got to know them or something, you know, I'm inside of a very good position. If they're not inside of a good position and this is like their one break, then I'm not going to be like, fuck you. Yeah. I would pass a good opportunity. It depends how good it is. Like, if it's like insanely good and like I don't want to be that guy. You struggle with deadlines. No, not really. But sometimes sometimes deadlines creep up on me, but not like I'm dying from deadlines. You feel confident that things will work out for you. Yeah. See you as I am a dude. See results. Oh, boga. I am the protagonist. Oh, what the fuck? I am a sword guy. I am extroverted. Okay, cool. My energy, okay. I don't know what this thing means. Tactics. Okay. I don't really... Oh god, they gotta... Oh shit, there's a lot of stuff in here. What the... The protagonists are genuine, caring people who talk the talk and walk the walk. Sorry if you can't see this and it's really bright. I'm just trying to, you know, not click any buttons that make me pay things. And nothing makes them happier than leading the charge, uniting and motivating their team with infectious enthusiasm. I appreciate the compliments, but again, these things are kind of... I doubt there's anyone inside of this that's like, you are the asshole archetype. You really suck ass. So, yeah. It'll probably say some stuff on how I don't really work well with someone else, but I don't really care. But I'm the protagonist. I'm an anime character just like I always wanted to be as a child. Yeah, but I think that's going to wrap it up for this. If you guys want me to read this shit, I guess I could at a later time, but I don't really care about reading all this. Protagonist might... Oh my god, I'm like Barack Obama. And fucking Ben Affleck. And John Cusack. Who? I'm sorry. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And keep on the lookout. Look. Sorry about that. For my videos.